Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about prana today and asana, actually, in posture. I made a post, or I shared a story the other day from shadow yoga, which is an incredible system and lineage of hatha yoga. And so I want to talk about that today because I think it is valuable to share on this, and I'm enjoying my little walks and talks. I hope you are too. So, there's a lot of emphasis on mind training today, training the mind. And there's not so much emphasis, at least in a balanced way. I mean, there's a huge fitness and gym culture of training the body. But what I think is a missing component is training the body according to aligned energetic principles. Okay, what do I mean by that? The body is, if you think about it, when you're born, just go with me on a journey for a moment. When you were one cell in your mother's womb, there was a division of that one cell, and one of the cells, when it became two, went upward to become the head, or to orient towards the head, and then another cell went downward to orient towards the tail. Now, I'm simplifying things. I don't, of course, know the exact mechanism of this, but we can interpret and base on our own kind of just observation. The body then, as these cells divided, the body had an intelligence that was governing and telling the cells where to go. Yeah, you following me? There were cells that needed to go upward towards the head. There were cells that needed to go downward towards the tails. And so there was sort of, you can imagine, a sort of blueprint, okay, arranging this alignment in the body so that the body can end up as it is. Okay? Now, this blueprint is still in us today. It's in everything. Everything has an energetic blueprint that determines and helps the light, because we're captured sunlight and water and molecules from the earth that are organized in a intelligent way to create an organism. And this is in us still. And so this blueprint is what we are developing alignment with when we practice yoga asana or qigong or even weightlifting. It depends, though, on if we are aware or how aware we are of the energy that flows in the body. And it depends on how much or how little we use our mind to enforce or impose its will on the body, as opposed to letting the somatic intelligence of the body from the bottom up, from the nature to the mind, to inform the mind about this blueprint, about this alignment. And now this intelligence is known as prana. You guys have heard of that word, prana. Prana has 5 divisions to it. Technically 10, but there's 5 major divisions. There is an upward movement to the prana, to the energy. There's a downward movement to the prana. There's an outward movement, there's an inward movement, and there's a circular movement. And these are the 5 main, they're called prana vayus, the winds. Vayu means wind. And if our inner wind, meaning our energy, the life force in us that is dictating how everything goes and the organization of it all, if this inner wind is displaced or scattered in some way, we feel misaligned. And there's a whole cascade of effects when there is a misalignment. Okay? And so if the inner wind is not in its right natural position, which is usually due to an obstruction of some sort from the mind and the nervous system, then that inner wind, until it finds its rightful place and its balance, is going to manifest all sorts of complications for the individual. Okay? And so when we're developing our posture training and how we work with the body, we're not just working with the body, we're working with these energetic principles, and we're finding ways to enhance and facilitate their flow so that they find their natural and rightful position. And in doing so, we then return to the natural blueprint, and everything just flows from there. And so this is the value of learning how to balance these inner energies through asana training, and to some extent through pranayama. But asanas and vinyasas, asana vinyasa, the vinyasa krama as it's called, the particular arrangement of limbs, or the karanas, help us remember the natural flows of energy in the body, to improve their flow so that the inner wind becomes balanced. And this touches every aspect of our life. And this is what is the purpose of yoga asana.